You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody...
We love to talk about Benghazi as anti-Hillary.
It was a terrorist attack.
Yes.
And yes, 4 Americans died, where like 3,000 died when George Bush was...
Here we go again.
Right.
All right, but anyway,
Nobody's
but I
defending George
digress.
Bush.
But we're not comparing the 3,000 that died with
Right.
them. So the 4 Americans died. She's here. Donald Trump is bashing her because she went home to sleep.
Because she told the army not to go in and save those four people. That all the people.
She could have ordered them. Send somebody there now, but they may not get there in time.
Problem.
Send them now anyway.
Yes. Oh, they're gonna die. They have no shot, so we just leave them there to die.
So send somebody there. Try.
I mean, honestly, yeah, the nearest plane was far away, but you know what? Do it anyway because these
So would you
people
say
are
that was just an error in judgment, or would you say she should be hung and dragged over the coals for it?
You don't want to know what I think
it was bad judgment. She should have owned up to it, which she didn't. And then on all the Sunday programs, she went and said it was a result of a YouTube video.
Well,
when they found her emails to her family, it had nothing to do with the YouTube video.
I have no idea what
it was a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So she told the truth to her family. Then goes on.
No. There is a YouTube video, and the only reason I know this is because of acting. It's
but has anyone seen it?
Yeah, it was.
It exists.
Yeah, it exists. And, basically, what they did was they took this actress and they overdubbed her voice and made her sound very anti-Muslim. And there's a law regarding this that affects us because any producer and director can actually take you and overdub you when you sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I didn't know. So, this inflammatory video, they decide to blame Benghazi. Like the Benghazi was a spontaneous protest, not a terrorist event, because of these people over there got wind of this YouTube video that was by this American nutjob preacher guy. So she proceeded to spend now she's on every Sunday show. So was Obama's press secretary there on every Sunday show saying it was because of YouTube video. It was a spontaneous protest. It was not a terrorist attack. And they spent $90,000 of taxpayer money to make an apology video in their language for the YouTube video. So they wasted $90,000, which could have been spent on education, could have been spent on our veterans, for something that was a lie, that was contrived. I have a big issue with that.
Later that day, when the President and Secretary of State greet the deceased at Joint Base Andrews, Clinton talks again about the video.
We've seen rage and violence directed at American embassies over an awful internet video that we had nothing to do with.
September 16th, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Susan Rice, goes on 5 Sunday talk shows, repeating the same story each time.
What happened initially was that it was a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired in Cairo as a consequence of the video.
The next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian Prime Minister. You told him this: we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. Let me read that one more time. We know, not we think, not it might be, we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. State Department experts knew the truth. You knew the truth, but that's not what the American people got. 27 minutes after you've told everyone it's a video, while Americans are still fighting because the attack's still going on, your top people are talking politics. Seems to me that night you had 3 options, Secretary. You could tell the truth, like you did with the family, like you did with the Libyan president, like you did with the Egyptian prime minister. Tell them it was a terrorist attack. You could say, you know what, we're not quite sure. Don't really know for sure. I don't think the evidence is there. I think it's all in the first one, but you could have done that. But you picked a third option. You picked the video narrative. You picked the one with no evidence, and you did it because Libya was supposed to be, as Mr. Roskin pointed out, this great success story for the Obama White House and the Clinton State Department.
Yeah, but yeah, and then the email scandal that has been investigated for years,
I think she's going down.
and we're getting nowhere.
I think she's going down.
She did.
And then they're going to put Biden in, and I think they want to.
She has done the same thing that so many presidents before her have done. George
I'm not
Bush
saying that. I know.
deleted over 10,000 emails on his personal server where the government never got to see if they were even top secret or not. They're targeting her to keep throwing
Well, they went
charges
after
and
Petraeus,
investigating.
remember, for something similar.
They locked him
They
up.
went after Petraeus, yeah, and
well,
they really went after
He
him.
told his girlfriend state secrets.
Right? For
And
something it was
so he got prosecuted for something much less severe
Right,
than
and
Hillary.
she hasn't. And how long has this investigation gone on?
She hasn't yet.
They're gonna make their recommendation on whether she should go down or
You've
not.
done
So we'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
You've done something a
Yes,
few
you have to come
times
back.
here that, and I don't mean to single you out, I'm not attacking you,
Okay.
but looking at what somebody did wrong, well, she didn't do anything that other people haven't done.
Oh, yeah, I have done that.
That to me, that type of arguing, it's not relevant. It's like saying a murderer should walk because, well, other murderers got away with it. It's not relevant.
Well,
It's like,
no.
my daughter sometimes, when I yell at her to clean her room, she goes, yeah, but my sister's room is a mess. It
Well,
doesn't matter.
Because
I'm talking to you right now. We're talking about her and her lies. The defense that other people have done it doesn't hold water.
no, I'm just pointing out that it wasn't a big issue when other presidents have done it, but they're making it an issue. She's being targeted. So they're making this a big issue when it wasn't a big issue with 10 other presidents.
They didn't have email type
That-
presidents
that,
ago.
it's
Right, it was,
obviously-
well, relatively
Well, I think he's saying that
Email has been around.
Not
Colin
for 10
Powell
presidents.
and Rice both had email accounts. But the thing was, they didn't have servers in the closet in their house. And the problem with that is that the Chinese definitely got in there. They can get in everywhere. And, they have staffs and computers fighting against the Chinese to get into their stuff. But that server from PC Richards in your closet, in your house, they're in there.
right.
And wait a minute, you're not allowed to have this. And all of a sudden it's like, well, there are only some personal emails in there, and they're gone.
Okay, so then
They
why?
got it.
So why?
Oh,
would-
it's only yoga emails. And then they find out that, oh, wait, but what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Oops.
Oops. What does that mean?
Right.
So why haven't charges been brought?
They're investigating.
Yeah.
There might
The
be.
investigation's been going on for years. I mean, if they have proof, they see these emails and top secret and all that, then they should be able to say, okay, we're charging you now.
Well, they're
Well,
going to.
that's
They
what's
just called
coming.
Huma in. They called Huma in, and now they're going to call Hillary in.
And you know what the funny thing is? If she's charged and arrested
Oh, I'd see her as that.
Oh.
and still able to run, let's say she's still.
Yeah.
Yes, she's
People would
not
vote for her.
convicted.
People would vote for her, wouldn't you? If she
She's
was
not convicted.
If she was there on the night of the election in an orange jumpsuit saying "Vote for me," would you go and pull the lever for her?
Yes.
Right.
Because I am no. But like I said, I am more anti-Trump than I am pro-Hillary.
Would you at least stay home and not vote for anybody? You would
No,
still
because
vote
that
for
would
her.
be a vote for Trump.
I mean, honestly, though, like, if
Do we understand that I'm anti-Trump?
I
You're
understand.
voting
understand.
against Trump.
Get me a
But you hate Trump so
Democrat.
much, you would vote for a
I
convicted
do.
felon.
And once again, I gave you my reasons.
Okay.
I find him to discriminate against some religions and races. I find him to talk so horrible about women. I'm shocked that women support him with the things that he has said
Racism is
Referring
a
to
funny word. I know
Megyn
you've done
Kelly
something recently
about being on her period, or Carly
Maybe she
Fiorina,
was.
she's too ugly to be president.
She is.
I mean, come on.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
That's
kidding.
what you.
know-
That's what you want coming out of the mouth
what-
of a president.
You know what's funny? That is tough to hear coming out of his mouth, and I won't disagree with
agree.
you.
I agree.
However, there are presidents from your side of the aisle that have been far worse.
But
to
we're
women.
not talking about the
That's
past.
true. Now,
True.
see, Jerry.
What if a murderer
Not
blames it on the
presidential.
past?
Wait, it's
You're-
not
you're
presidential
consistent.
getting a blowjob in the Oval
Bill-
Office.
JFK was horrible in the White House.
Bill Clinton was horrible.
Like
But what
that.
is that have to do?
LBJ was the
It
worst.
doesn't.
All right, so
These are things that, when I hear that, I cringe when I hear these things from Trump's mouth. But I realize, in reality, he's a saint compared to Bill Clinton.
But Bill Clinton's not running.
I know, but you're putting things in perspective, and I think Hillary, on the other side, is horrible. There are stories. Have you read the books about the security guards that have worked with her and lived with her? They're like, she's a horrible woman.
All right, but then on the same token, you had a campaign manager that quit and talked about how horrible Trump was and how,
he's been a public figure for decades.
You
and
find me.
You will get people from each side that have worked for them.
That work for him that says he's bad. You cannot find 10.
Well, there was the illegal immigrant that went on the news. They covered his face.
How do I know that's not some nut job off the street?
If he doesn't want to say, I'm going to tell you lots of bad things about Trump, but don't show who I am.
So but you want me to believe that the people that talk about Hillary aren't nut jobs, but the ones that talk about Trump.
But we don't know if they're legitimate people.
Wait a minute. If you work for the presidential security force with the CIA, you're about as highly vetted as you can get. And if multiple of those people saying she's a witch, and she said anti-Semitic things. I mean, you read the books; it's horrifying.
Yeah.
But you could choose not to believe them.
I'm volunteering for the Trump Organization, and all I can say is I have been treated like gold, like to the point where I can't really talk about what I do and what it's like. But I got to tell you, the experience I've had. No, I've been in Trump Tower. I've been with some
because women love him and Hispanics love him.
And
everybody loves me.
All the women. I'll tell you. Up there, I know he talks like that, but all the women that, all the people that were working with me, the majority of them were female women. Well, obviously, females are women. I'm sorry, they were women, and I've been treated like gold.
No. Of course, there's going to be women that like him, just like there's going to be some Hispanics that like him.
Right.
But
I think that
the majority of women are going to vote for Hillary.
Because she has a vagina, not because of her credentials.
I don't know
When
about
Trump
that,
goes after women and he attacks them.
I don't know.
We got to see what bathroom she uses.
There's a book out there, I'm sure. But when he says that Carla Fiorina, look at her face, and he alludes to blood coming out of other places. I think he was doing those things to get all the media attention and to dominate the news cycle. It's part of his book, part of the deal. It's not presidential to get blowjobs.
That's not someone that I want representing our country as the commander in chief.
But do you watch what you watch in the world? We just talked about growing up with Brady Bunch and Happy Days. This world doesn't watch that anymore.
But
they watch vile, inappropriate stuff all the time.
You guys, why don't we just have a threesome and then have our own, what could our name be?
That's what society is.
But
if you go for office and you come out like Jeb Bush or Mitt Romney, you're not going.
Vile and inappropriate words.
It does.
Vile and inappropriate words.
No, it works for a reality star.
Well, but why does reality work? Because that's what this country's watching the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm. This is psychological manipulation 101, which he's being brilliant at. And if you want to see President Trump, look at his foreign policy speech he just gave. Look at his speech to AIPAC. They were beautiful, brilliant. They were bigly. They won bigly.
From now on, we refer to him as President Trump.
I didn't watch it.
But I can agree with you. Some of his comments have been a little off. But when we talk about racism,
many of his comments.
Let me tell you something right now. There are words in this society because of liberal Democrats that have no meaning anymore. Racism means I disagree with your opinion. Bigot means you don't think the way that I do. Sexual harassment means you're ugly and I don't like that you looked at me or tried to make me laugh. I mean, there are bullying. Oh, I don't like the way you looked at me. You bullied me. I mean, not for nothing. And the word offended.
Safe places.
Yeah. The word offended has no meaning anymore.
But when he
because
said,
of liberal Democrats.
When he said, and I watched the past shows, and you were wrong because after you said it, I went back and watched the video of Trump speaking.
Yeah.
When he said, I want a temporary ban of all Muslims coming into this country.
Absolutely.
And you sat here and told the woman that was sitting here, no, he said the Muslims from Syria and those other countries.
He changed his statement later. He changed his statement later.
Changed it later.
Stop with those.
But that's not what he said originally.
I'm talking about what he said on television.
Okay. and do you know that?
To
all
say
right, okay.
Muslims, that's a third of the world.
You can say that's bad.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to say it's
There
bad
are
because I
Muslims
agree
in
with
China.
you.
There are Muslims,
All Muslims?
I agree
in
with
every
you.
There are
continent.
Muslims in the
Temporarily.
To say that they're not allowed in the country.
Listen, if we cannot vet the Muslims coming in or any religion coming in, and we don't know like who's a good one and who's a bad one, and most of them, 90% of them, 99% of them are good Muslims. It's that 1% that's really, really dangerous, and we can't tell who's good and who's bad. I mean, we need to like lower.
Shouldn't you say
and
restrict
saying that-
from a certain
saying that-
region?
Yes, I agree. You
And
should
saying
restrict
that all
from a certain
Muslims
reason.
cannot come in the country is not the way to do it.
Temporarily until
That-
our government can get
Temporarily,
this
it could
But
be
that's
years.
what he believed or thought at
So if
that
I had
time, and then
relatives-
he adjusted what he thought. But he said what was on his mind.
Yeah.
The rest of them don't. You can't even get.
He's honest.
He's honest,
No,
he is
and
honest.
then he's honest enough to say,
And you
maybe
can
I was
disagree
wrong
with
about
it.
that.
I
And
understand
nothing,
why
nothing
you
he
would
has said has
disagree
been
with it. I get it.
ridiculous.
Right.
You know, I'd
Rosie
say
is ugly.
someone of his
That's what-
top aides would say, "Hey Donald, don't ban all Muslims. Just ban people from the Middle East. Put a restriction on that area."
Again, you
That's
have, to,
fine.
you
I
have
agree.
to look at the intent of the man. Is the intent to discriminate
It's
against everybody,
no,
or is
it's,
it to protect
it's
them?
that he's on a
If-
power
Listen,
trip.
listen,
and
No, he's not.
listen,
He's
Oh,
one of
he's
those
so
guys.
bad.
Wait.
He's got the biggest ego.
Why do you lock your door at night?
I actually,
You don't lock your door?
not always.
God
I'm
bless
in a good
you.
neighborhood.
Well, I mean, I don't think there were good neighborhoods anymore, but I lock my door at night because I love everyone that's in my home. Why can't, if I think it's courageous for president to love his citizens so much that he wants to lock the door because there is a potential threat. That's what I firmly believe in. Now, can he legally do that thing with Muslims? No, he can't. But he can restrict countries. Yes, he can.
No, but we are America. We are the land of everyone, of immigrants from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And to take a third of the, if I had relatives that were Muslim that live in China,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling me my relatives can't come to me until the world starts to play nice?
No, it's not that the world.
Up until 1960, we had a restrictive immigration policy.
Maybe he should have thought before he spoke and really thought about it and then made a statement.
And that's
about,
a big reason why I think Trump is going to win.
But no, but
because
this
I
is
think
why
now you're going to see
but this
a
is
lot
why I'm
more
scared
thought
of him is
preparation.
he doesn't think before he acts.
But
He needs to start
I
thinking
have a
before.
statement with me.
You have said
I
it
do
many
have it.
times. Well, he said it, but then he changed his
He does, he
story.
does, he
You know
does.
what? Think before you speak.
There's a Pew poll.
And that would be a big difference. I bet you, maybe I wouldn't think that badly about
Well,
it.
the Pew poll.
But I don't like the fact that he just spits out whatever goes in his brain.
But he says
because
what
as president,
people say in their living rooms. And
Oh,
I hate
you
to
know,
tell you, but people do
I don't think that's
have a
good.
bias against.
Stop talking!
Against the Muslim religion. They do, and
Right.
that's due to the fact that the terrorists usually.
They fly planes in the building.
Right. I mean, that could have something to do with it.
I am half
especially in
Jewish,
this
half
reason-
Spanish. I'm gay, and I have a black daughter.
Now I feel like I can't say anything.
God
So
bless you.
I do not discriminate, and I don't like
God bless
discrimination.
you.
So maybe I'm a
Yeah.
little more sensitive on the subject.
Right.
You don't like white heterosexual males, do you?
I really don't.
And I'm not advocating on discrimination because I have people in my family that are Muslim. I have friends that are Muslim, and I don't discriminate against them at all. But now, especially with the Syrian refugee crisis, and he wants to fast track them coming in here, and your Homeland Security is telling you, we can't vet them with 100% certainty.
Yeah, where are they? I thought they were
Yeah.
supposed to be here.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the Pew poll shows that most Americans agree with what Trump said, as
Okay, but then what
inflammatory
if,
as
so
it
if we
is.
have a terrorist that comes here that's Catholic,
Yes,
are we gonna ban Christians from flying
No,
into
because
America?
that would be odd to have that.
But it hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't. I mean,
Already-
When it does, we'll talk about
Someone
it.
well,
explain
Timothy
to me.
McVeigh might have been. I mean, then you're not a true Catholic then.
No, I mean,
in the Bible, there is nothing that says you need to wage jihad and you need to have Sharia law. I mean, Muslim people hate gay
Well,
people.
hold on. You have
can't
all
travel
these
to a Muslim
Syrian
country.
you have all these Syrian refugees
hate-
in
they
Germany
hate people.
going out raping people nonstop and going nuts to the point where the Germans are going crazy because like,
Yeah.
look what's going on here.
Right.
And people seeing that in the news, and Barack Obama's saying, we want to bring them here.
Yes, exactly.
What?
And where?
And they were refugees
hold
from
on.
Syria.
where
So when Trump
where
says
do you
we don't
get
want
Muslim
that,
people hate gays.
It's in their religion that they will kill you in some countries.
Well, it says it in the Bible.
The Christian
Not to
Bible
kill
says
them.
they hate gays.
Yeah, well, all right.
So-
it doesn't say that we hate gays. It's against God's commandment or whatever it is, which most people say.
It's very vague in the Bible, actually. I believe the reference
Well, it depends on
man
who
shall
you
not
ask.
lay down with man.
But you
That's what it
cannot
says in the Bible.
travel like even if you wanted to go to Dubai with your husband, you could not do that. You could not go to Dubai
Yeah,
with your
they throw
husband.
you
But I also can't go
They
to
would kill
Bermuda.
you. What?
I also can't go to Bahamas. I can't go
You
to.
can't?
No, it's illegal in Bahamas.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's terrible.
So I can't go to a lot of places, not Muslim places,
Yeah,
but a lot of places.
But in Muslim countries, they will kill you for that, and the Muslim religion is very, very against the gay community. So when
Well, the
liberals,
the areas on the
are
Sharia
active-
law,
yeah,
they actively search
Yes,
you out. They
yes.
have those videos on YouTube where they show them throwing them off the top of the building.
oh, that's terrible. That's really terrible.
That's Sharia law. In most Muslim countries, it isn't under Sharia law, so you don't really have to worry about
But
that.
they-
So I think you're safe.
And
But
I
in some of them,
yeah.
I think
stay
it's
away.
more of the, they're the non-progressive countries.
But Dubai is as
Like-
progressive as they get, and you
Well, now
can't.
it is.
Yeah, and I could never go. Like if I lived with somebody and I wasn't married, I could never go
But
with
you
them
also what? Did you
because of the Muslim restrictions.
have you seen how many countries over the last year have made marriage equality legal? Okay,
Listen,
yes, that's
listen.
our-
If a Catholic or a Christian person or a Muslim, look, if they didn't cheat on their spouses the way people cheat in this society, I think marriage is getting dissolved anyway. There's no such thing as, this one cheats on this one cheats on that one.
Buddy, this is my...
Her husband. We've met before, but something tells me you're going to remember me this time.
Whoa. You are so busted.
If Catholic people, straight people, they did marriage well, then they would have a leg to stand on. But they are the most promiscuous mother effers
And then
going.
to say that
like,
gay,
serious.
and then to say that gay marriage would ruin the sanctity.
Right, that's what
No,
I'm
how
saying.
about your
I'm
cheating
on your
husband?
side with that.
I agree with you on that.
100%.
100%.
My marriage has lasted way longer than a lot of straight marriages
Yeah,
that I
God
know. We're
bless
together
you.
15
My
years.
job-
God bless you.
I work with a lot of young homeless people, and every single one of them, there's no family. There's no mom, no dad, or they're crack addicts, or they're just not there. And that's what's causing the problem. And we don't really address that in this country. The family isn't what the world has changed so much.
Well, that's if you're like a Republican conservative and you talk about these things, you're just square and you're a racist and a bigot.
We
Because you
grew
support
up-
such things.
I mean,
It's
think
ridiculous.
about this for a second. When we were kids, Sundays, stores were closed.
Yeah,
You were home, you were with your family, you had dinner.
I think it sucked.
It was bad in the fact that you couldn't go and get stuff.
But
it was good in the fact that it kept family together.
You don't like the way I talk? Get out of my house.
Last Sunday dinner here.
It's a good idea.
No, because it all. See, I'm gonna be against you.
I bet it was Donald Trump who ended the Sunday.
I think that the blue laws, that was ridiculous because everything is the church involved in the state, and it's supposed to be a separation. The reason why businesses weren't open is because you were supposed to be in church.
You don't like the reason.
Well, what about
but
Jewish
you-
people?
But you don't.
Why wasn't Saturday businesses
I agree
closed?
with you on all that. but-
Because
so
our religious day is Saturday.
So your fight is with the reason, even if the byproduct of it is good.
Correct. Oh yeah, I got double time. I was happy to work on Sundays. I'm saying no, but I hated blue laws for that reason because once again it was church and state together, and it's supposed to be separate. And fast forward to 2016, and you still have a lot of things being run based on the church, which is why Ted Cruz to me would have been horrible because he would have turned our country into a church. Everything would have been based on the Bible. And that scared.
Which was,
he's the
which was
president.
controlling
He can't
and
write
kept things
laws.
in order. Now, I wrestle back and forth with this. If we go into religious territory, we're doomed because this conversation.
I'm not religious.
We don't have any rules anymore. Anything goes. Religion kept things in line. Now religion's kind of out the window.
Well, I think it's
And
also because
there's
there's so
chaos.
many religions now in this country where I think when these laws were made, you didn't have this whole big mix. Now, I don't think it's fair to make everything I agree with the whole not having a Christmas tree in a school or whatever.
Oh, come
Because
on.
there are kids that are Jewish. Do you have something representing them?
menorahs.
There are
Sure.
kids that are,
Yeah, of course
there's
you
other
do.
religions.
We grew up in a town that was half Jewish, half Catholic, and we had both.
Christmas or Hanukkah? Don't worry about it, buddy, because in this house, you don't have to choose. Allow me to introduce you to a little something that I like to call Chrismica.
Chrismica? I mean, look at the pledge. I don't believe that they should say in one nation under God. The original pledge did not say under God. That phrase was added in.
Our country was
Doesn't bother you
founded on
that
godly
much.
principles, though.
But it was added in.
True.
It originally
There's
was
so
not
many
written, so
things.
why
I
did
could just
you
ask you,
change
does
that?
it bother you that much? And you said no.
Why do you want to fight?
Because I can't sing or dance.
Well,
People are fighting for so many things that
If
don't
it was
really
one or
bother
two
them that
things-
much. Like he said, we grew up in a half Jewish Italian neighborhood, and I had Jewish friends, and I'd say Happy Hanukkah, and they'd say Merry Christmas, and there was a Christmas tree, and there was Hanukkah menorah in the school, and I don't remember it being a problem.
Let me say.
I don't remember.
It wasn't.
Does it bother me that much about a Christmas tree? No, I'm just using these as examples. What bothers me is the church and state together. It has to be separate. Laws have to be made for what's right, not based on religious beliefs.
But that's what the Constitution says. There is a separation of church and state.
Yeah, the Constitution says
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that that's what's real.
But that's what if
Because-
it's not real, then somebody that was savvy should go after those people. But with that said, no matter what religion you are, your religion should be
Right.
and is protected under the Constitution as well.
And I'll agree with you. There shouldn't be a law that says stores are closed on Sunday. But we have to acknowledge that it was a better
This country was
lifestyle. It a
formed
better- the
250
family was
years
strong.
ago based on Christian principles.
Right.
It's hard to weed that all out.
Right, but we have to accept that we're not 250 years ago. We
True.
are. in
And that's why you
2016.
can
Times
have
changed.
that's why you can have amendments to the Constitution.
Changes aren't going as quick as our country
In
is
this
growing.
country, we're fighting for a whole bunch of things that are going to make a whole bunch of changes that are going to eventually destroy us. That's just the way it might be.
There's some things that are good that we should stick to. I mean, a lot of Christian principles aren't bad. The Ten Commandments aren't really that bad. You know, don't kill one another, be nice to one another. Not bad.
But if they were posted somewhere, someone like you would object because
Here's something else I got a problem with. The 10 Commandments.
No,
it shouldn't be
don't.
posted.
Don't.
I'm not.
No.
I'm saying.
There's some people that go, oh my God, the Ten Commandments are in front of town hall.
I was supposedly sent down by
Somebody do
God
something
on a
about it.
burning bush, and that's
my
ridiculous.
nieces
Get it
are
out of there.
Jewish and they have a Christmas tree.
I have a Christmas tree.
That's what I'm saying. So you want to get rid
Because
of
the
the Christmas
decorations
tree?
are better.
A little knot here. Work on that.
Because it's but
I'm offended by
Hanukkah
that.
has very boring decorations.
But you know,
And
I
have a
learned
child,
about
she wants
Hanukkah
the
in
color, not blue.
school. I learned about Hanukkah in school, and I thought that was really interesting about the oil and the 8 days. And I don't think it's bad to teach all the traditions, and that's the stuff that makes
No, but that's what I'm
society
saying.
nice.
They need to
Makes
not
kids
just
have
have
fun.
what I mean with the whole Christmas tree is schools used to be all about Christmas, decorate the halls Christmas. I'm just saying they need to include.
They do. I mean, I work in a school. They do. We include even Kwanzaa. I mean, all of that stuff. So
It happens every once in a while and makes big news across the country. There's one idiot in the middle of Iowa that complains about the Ten Commandments in front of the city hall.
and then
But then- no,
it makes
taken away.
And then comes November, people will start complaining. I'm not saying Happy Holidays. I'm going to say Merry Christmas. If you don't like, because I was in retail for 20 years, I always said Happy Holidays. That was just my thing, and I say that now.
But
Even
you're
if I
also
know you're
agnostic,
Catholic, I'm saying
right.
Happy Holiday. Happy Holidays includes everyone.
People are saying this because you went to Roosevelt Field and they had a holiday set up that looked like it was like, you know,
Santa
from
Claus
the
is
planet
3D.
Hoth in Star Wars.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Oh, I saw that. yeah.
What was that? It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Why bother?
See, now why couldn't they do like something where they could have had a little something for each holiday, set up?
Well, because it was never a tradition. Like, you're not gonna have Hanukkah Harrys. Like, what kid takes pictures? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did you say
Santa
Hanukkah
Claus.
Harry?
Yeah, like you're gonna have like Santa Claus sitting here, Hanukkah Harry here, like Kenny Kwanzaa here. I mean,
I like that.
it's like it's
Kenny Kwanzaa?
Yeah, maybe we just
Does that exist or did you make that
No, I
up?
just made it up. I mean, honestly, like, come on. Santa Claus is non-denominational
Randy
anyway.
No, I just think
Is that Muslim Christmas, Ramadan? Is that
No,
it?
well, it's not. No, they actually have to starve
Muslim
themselves all day
Christmas.
long, and then they get to eat when the sun goes down. Because I feel bad. I have Muslim students, and I feel bad for them. They can't eat that whole
Well,
month.
The edits in the show are going to be fun.
Well, on Good Friday, we don't eat that. That's
I like
so
food
bad.
too much.
I like
So that's why
sushi.
I can't do I don't practice religions because I can't.
No,
fast.
Catholics have the best holidays because we just go on binges and just eat everything delicious.
Yep.
Especially if you're Italian Catholic. Forget it.
Yeah.
Drop the turkey. Drop the...
Come over to my house.
See, that's
Oh, my wife cooks all day. I get the shrimp, the lobster tails,
We take a little-
the seven fishes, and none of it's fish. It's
like my
all
daughter gets
shellfish.
presents for 8 days of Hanukkah.
Yeah, that's
But we
cool.
put up Christmas trees because the
Yes.
lights are prettier.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have no
And then I
problem with
read to
that.
her a Kwanzaa book.
See, we can solve all of the world's
Yes,
problems.
right here.
If
Should
we
be
just
nice
include everybody, not make everything so this group and that group.
But your side does that. That's what your side does. This group and that group.
On my side.
Yes.
They say we hate clean water and clean air. We want to make everything dirty. We want to throw grandma over the cliff.
Republican hasn't worked for you.
But it could.
But it hasn't.
It hasn't, but it could.
Oh, is this where you guys are teaming up again?
I told you I bought you a present. I'm waiting for the end. So give it to you.
Yeah, Katie and Greg, who were two liberal Democrats who refused to come on the show, but they repeatedly attacked
Now
me
I
on
see
Facebook
why.
and in texts and emails.
But
Katie and Greg, there's two chairs here.
No,
for
so
you.
far I'm
Honestly, like you, I think it's very brave to come here because you definitely are outnumbered. And we were fighting on Facebook, needling and poking at each other. But you're not so bad.
You're so bad! You're so bad! You're so bad!
I know that. And you're not that bad either.
It did get pretty heated there for a while. I had to intervene and tell you guys to save it for the show.
Well, that's Facebook and it goes back to the beginning.
That's what happened.
People
Oh, on
have
Facebook, that got heated.
muscle.
Even
Well, then
you,
he jumped in there.
Pussycat.
Because then right away, anything I posted, oh, that's from MSNBC. Oh, that's from CNN.
Yeah. Well, people tend to
I know,
show
next
something.
time I'll only put stuff from Fox News.
And I'm not a fan of Fox.
Hostile. A lot of people are.
It
I mean,
is-
Rob Reiner.
Unfortunately, this is a time where it is causing a lot of. I have been unfriended by a couple of people.
Hey, it's
Not that I care.
it's clean
Unfriend me
Facebook
for that,
this
then
time.
no big deal.
But it's funny because people who are against certain things also.
Can I get my phone?
Sure.
Because I wanted to read something that I encountered online. Hold on. Is my phone?
People also don't have a
My phone is
problem
in my
calling
bag.
someone else racist, which is insulting.
I'll tell you the only person I ever defriended because of politics, but I have to get it in my bag.
Okay.
Okay?
It's bad to be racist, but it's also bad to call someone racist who you have no real knowledge if they are. Rob Reiner was on television the other day saying that Trump supporters are racist. And then they said, well, you mean all of them? He says, no, not all of them.
They listen to what he says for themselves and vote for him. How do you explain that?
Well, there are a lot of people who are racist.
They're not all racist.
No, they're not all racist. They're not all racist, but there is a strain there.
That's really insulting and derogatory. I'm a Trump supporter. I am the furthest thing from racist. First of all, people don't even know what racism really means. If you look up the word, it's very
Well, that's
simple.
That's why I usually
It actually means.
When I talk about Trump, I usually say he discriminates, which is a difference. Discriminating against someone and being a racist are two different things.
Right. I mean, racism, in the simple definition of the word, is the belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race. That's racism. Saying that we're different, where one is better than the other. That's the actual definition
Whereas
of racism.
discrimination
It's such a misused word. And especially the young people today, they throw things around. If you go, oh, look at that guy, he's black. Like, oh, you're racist. Or, oh, that guy sounded black. Or something along those lines. People go, you're racist.
They use that phrase so often.
Might be
in
ignorant.
It has
school.
no
My
meaning.
kids will come out and say, that's racist. I'm like, what are
It
you
has no
talking
meaning.
about?
It's a joke now. And this is the only person I ever defriended, Sarah, who's African American, and I respect her as a veteran. This was her status
But
2
not as a
days
person.
ago. No, especially not after this. My white friends who are voting for Trump, please know that the majority of the people who are looking at you supporting this narcissistic asshole believe you are the same kind of people that would have Jews in concentration camps, blacks segregated and hanging from trees, and would do the same to anyone who wasn't white and attached to your political agenda. Because basically you are the new Nazi and the new Jim Crow, and if you think Americans like myself will let you run this country, you are sadly mistaken. And I also,
I agree.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, and then there was somebody who
Maybe she just had a
said,
rough day.
I will burn the flag on my way out. He will never be my president. He doesn't represent me ever. You'll burn the... And I challenged him to come to my house. The
Why
person
would you
on
burn
that
the
page.
flag if you don't like who the president is? I don't like Barack Obama. I'm not burning the flag.
That's what I'm saying. This was the only person I ever defriended, not until I said my piece, because I was so hot. And I don't get offended easily, believe me. That was
That's why you just ignored it, because she wasn't saying it to you. You just ignored it and just go
No,
move
because
on.
I do work for the Trump organization, and it's very out there, so I felt personally attacked. And being my nieces are Jewish, and I mean, I was, and it was on World Holocaust Day, I really took great offense to this. This was the most racist, disgusting post that I've ever seen. Oh, by the way, this is the funny part, which I had screenshots of. She had inboxed a friend of ours that is a police officer. This was a couple days before this post, and she said, could you send over a cop over to my house? You know where I live, because my spick illegal alien neighbors keep parking on my driveway. Yeah,
Nice.
Talk about hypocrisy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I went absolutely ballistic with that.
Text or that email that you put on Facebook,
that Facebook, yeah.
post, is just a terrible, vile thing to say.
No, I mean, not, you can disagree with Trump, but
right, but implying that you are those things because you support something is ignorant. It's insulting, and you're also putting it in a public place where I don't want to read that stuff.
I mean, honestly, she works for the Veterans Administration. I hope that somebody screenshots it and sends it. I would never do it. It's not my place. Like, Karma Bus will drive. But I think they should know what kind of person they have working for them. I mean, I think it's absolutely disgusting.
She reads stuff on
Trump and
veterans. She watches MSNBC, listens to Rachel Maddow, and that's what she believes. That's what she's taught. That Donald Trump is these things. That's what she's reading and hearing. So she believes
I watch Rachel Maddow. I don't believe that.
Well, I don't know if she says that about Trump, but people on that station did. I apologize, Rachel. Maybe you didn't say
Maybe she saw it on Fox News.
If Donald Trump becomes president and next year things are really looking up and everything's great and there's no horrible, America hasn't changed into this horrible place that you hate, will you come back on the show and say, hey, he's doing a good job? Or will you hate him eternally? Will you give credit where credit is due if things are doing well?
If he became president.
If he becomes president, does a good job.
Then I would say, okay, he's doing a good job.
Would you be happy?
If he's doing a good job, then I would be happy, but I don't foresee that. If Hillary became president and she wound up doing a good job, would you all be able to do that?
Well, yes. I'll answer that. When Bill Clinton ran against Bush 41, I did not vote for him. He did a good job. I voted for him. George W. came in, I voted for him because he was Republican. He did a horrible job. I didn't vote for him the second time. And then Barry came in, and he said all these wonderful things about we have to balance the budget. And George W. spends way too much money. And he was right. I voted for him. I voted for Barack Obama the first time.
Unfortunately.
But, an idiot. I was an idiot. I fell for everything he said.
Right.
But fool me once, shame on you. You're not fooling me twice.
Just fool me once. Shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
I didn't vote for him the second time.
Vote that way no matter what. You get Democrats that are going to vote that way.
It's the middle people.
It's the middle
we
people.
don't
But,
know.
and I don't mean this in any way insulting. In my experience, the people that I associate with, there are more Republicans who are willing to look at all the facts and listen to all the facts and go either way. Then there are people that I know who are in your shoes.
Oh, all right. I was
do
going
the
to
same
say
thing.
because
they're they're
my
less
generation,
flexible.
my group. I mean, I only have like 350 or 400 friends on Facebook, and a majority of them are more on the Democrat side, but some of them are Democrat, but still they are not voting for Hillary. They're going to vote for whoever's independent.
That's good.
You know,
Well, here's the
Won't
thing.
vote for a
Yeah.
Republican now.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's
Right,
just like
that's
it's just like the union. Like as a teachers union, Astorino when he ran against Cuomo was the Common Core king. Everything that teachers hate.
I voted for Astorino.
Thank you.
That's how bad it was. I voted
Yes.
Republican.
Yes.
And my friends wanted to shun me.
And Astorino would have bent over backwards and gave the teachers anything that they
But
wanted, and
I
they
heard he
still
would've
would
been
not. They
bad
still
on
wouldn't have
other
endorsed. They still wouldn't have endorsed.
You know,
him.
Jerry, we have friends in our email chain that claim to be open-minded, and you know that they would never vote for a Republican ever in their lives.
Never.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, oh, no, of course if a good guy, I would, not a chance.
See, Trump is turning some Democrats though, because I know a few that I work with that are getting on the Trump train just
Unfortunately,
because.
I think there are a lot more
I agree.
Republicans that are Hillary's going to turn into this big thing with Republicans for Hillary.
Oh
Because
gosh.
Trump-
It's horrible, but
Trump
it's
is
I know
not-
anybody that's a Republican hates Hillary.
Trump is not a full Republican.
He's not. He's very moderate on things.
What? When was he? He was Democrat just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he woke up. Oh, I think I'm a Republican now. I mean,
Well,
come on.
listen,
I think as you get older, you become
you
more
know where your
Republican.
bread is buttered, and he had Hillary and
He
Bill so
ran,
deep
no,
in his
he-
pocket.
You know how many people there are in Hollywood who are Democrats, but they're not really?
Time government gets bigger, individual rights get smaller, and I really don't think people want that. But well, in order to win elections, I guess now you have to convince your team or the swing voters that the other guy is evil.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pretend they hate gay people or that they hate certain ideas about entitlement programs.
Mm-hmm. Why weren't you nominated for an Emmy?
Yeah.
Why?
It is a funny thing. You spend a lot of time racking your brain about it, and I finally, I did think. Part of me thought, maybe this being an openly Republican guy in Hollywood it might have something to do with it.
Personally, think
So she gotta be
he
in Hollywood.
turned Republican because he knew Hillary was going to run. He didn't want to run against her, so he ran Republican.
Well,
How
you said to me earlier before the cameras were
Oh, I'll tell you, yeah,
that
that's
you think
something
Trump
different, but
is
I had a conspiracy theory that Trump joined the race to help Hillary.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There's a rumor out there, and you feel free to dispel this. Did you call Donald Trump and ask him to run for president of the United States?
No.
No? Because that would be pretty smart, man.
Yeah, I get credit for doing a lot of things I didn't do like that. But
Credit. Credit.
That because they were good friends. He's given her so much money in her
He's given Republicans and Democrats
Wait a
money.
minute.
How does it make you feel like she took his money and Bill took his money? They both took his money.
And you know who else
Because
took
he was their friend.
And you know who
And then
else
all of a
gave
sudden
money
he
to
decided,
Clinton?
oh wait, now I'm a Republican and I'm not your friend anymore.
What did he get in exchange for the money?
I don't know.
Favors?
What you're saying doesn't make any sense. This
What?
is a hugely powerful, successful man, and he's actually going to give Hillary a run
I'm
for
just
his
saying
money.
it's
He's not. He's not serious.
Yeah.
But I think he's pretty serious.
It's my conspiracy theory. I go, wouldn't it be great though? Hillary wins, and then he turns around on the TV and says, "I punked America." So all of a sudden now he's Republican and running against
He
her.
has seen the light.
And he
There is
shot
hope for
down
you.
every Republican that was running.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
you mean like Democrats?
The thing about Trump, why a lot of people like him, and why, and it's been so apparent in the last few days. If you look at the establishment Republicans going against him, who we elected these Republicans to stop Obama's agenda. What did they do? They let the Iran deal through, and now just a couple days ago, they passed another deal that's going to cost $6 billion. I don't even know, but it's a really bad deal for us. They have not stopped anything we elected them to do.
No.
Now that if they put this much effort into stopping Obama's agenda that they're doing to Trump, so what does that tell you? They're all working for the same master. They're all in bed with each other, and they're deathly afraid of Trump. So when Trump gets in there and kicks them all out,
He can't kick him out.
Well, the voters will, because I'll tell you right now, any Republican that is not on the Trump train and not supporting him and what he wants to do is not going to get my vote. But fortunately in New York, we don't have that problem because our politicians have gotten the memo.
And another way to respect Trump is like these guys that aren't endorsing him, that aren't supporting him, like Bush. Both Bushes aren't supporting him.
Yeah, we don't want you
And you know what
support. You
Trump said?
stunk.
I understand.
Yeah.
He said, I understand. I attacked him. I insulted his son. I said things maybe I shouldn't have said, and I've criticized him with 9/11 and all this other stuff. I understand.
Yeah.
Now, can we?
No ill feelings. No nothing. I understand.
To him, it's just not. It's not personal.
Understanding is a key thing lacking in people and politicians and everybody. Understanding, move on.
It's like The Godfather.
That's what he's doing.
It's not personal. It's just business.
Exactly.
Don't Mike, it was only business. I always liked him.
Now, if we're going to talk about politicians that I want to go to jail, then that would be Cuomo.
Oh yeah, well we're on the same page there. We can all, I think almost everyone in New York can agree Cuomo's just
I fit in with you guys?
Yeah, oh my gosh, we're having a moment.
We can get rid
Can
of
we
Cuomo.
savor
We
this?
should have a toast or something.
He's not going
Meet me
anywhere.
halfway.
He's not going
You
anywhere.
sing too?
No, but that was pretty damn good.
Because
That was very good.
I'm very anti-Common Core.
I didn't know I could sing. I just discovered
The
that.
Common Core's on the list.
Common Core is on the list. Oh,
Yeah.
I know Common Core.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break. I gotta go use the restroom.
Oh, there's a real break.
I'm gonna use
Yeah.
and I'm gonna use it right after you.
Hey, go ahead first.
I can get a donut.
Because I'm gonna.
But you have to show, do you have a penis or a vagina?
Do you have a unisex bathroom?
You're nobody till somebody cares.
Gotta give it to Trump.
Low energy
Trump, yeah. Trump is a master of branding. He's branding Elizabeth Warren as
I hate
Goofy Elizabeth.
Goofy
Yeah, Goofy Elizabeth.
This is what it means.
We're gonna get
Stop
Lori.
that by now.
But I like it. It's
Stop with the
branding.
name calling. You're not 14 years old enough.
Lion Ted. I'll tell you, when we went to that thing, everyone goes, Lion Ted, Lion Ted, and how like
As sure
I do.
That was the nickname.
Yeah, it is.
above.